Mariya, this is actually the first time we've actually been able to speak with you, but we play your music all the time. We get requests for your songs, but a lot of people might not know the woman behind the music. Can you kind of give us a rundown? Who is Mariya?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, firstly, thanks for playing my songs. It means a lot. I really appreciate it. And I'm a country artist and songwriter, originally from Stavely, Alberta. I live in Calgary now. And I got into music when I was a little kid because my parents owned the bar in town, in this little 500 person town that I grew up in. And I used to sit on the stairs right outside the bar room and watch all the bands come through town. And then my dad is also a drummer and was in a cover band. And so they used to sneak me in when I was like 8 years old to come play the jams and sing and stuff. And since then, I kind of got the music bug and just haven't really looked back. I've just been chasing this thing ever since.
That's awesome. So you live in Calgary now, and it's kind of been a weird couple of years. There's lots to look forward to. Things are opening up. Do you want to talk a little bit about what's on your agenda right now? What do you have to look forward to?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we have the Country Music Alberta Awards coming up this weekend, which is always very exciting. And it's the first time that we're going to actually be able to see some of our friends in the music industry for the first time in a hot second. And then on top of that, I'm in the studio right now, actually recording a couple more tunes to release. Yeah, we're working on a record, which is very exciting. And shows are happening. So we're actually getting booked to go do some different festivals actually outside of Alberta, which is really exciting because I feel like a lot of the people kind of at my stage in the music career or the music industry, we're just starting to see some really cool momentum in 2019. And then obviously with everything happening and shutting down, some of that momentum slowed down, but it's picking back up again. And so I'm just really looking forward to, seeing everybody I haven't seen in 2 years and also recording some music and hopefully playing it for some folks.
Now, jumping back to the award show coming up this weekend, you're no stranger to it, right? You've won the awards, you've hosted, but you're up for some really cool things this year, like Female Artist and also Songwriter of the Year. Now, being part of this world, being part of the Alberta world, does being up for nominees for these awards ever get lost on you? Or are you kind of like, oh, again, I'm up for these awards?
No, the acknowledgement is it's always a thrill. And it's always just when I started out in country music, I went to the Alberta Country Music Awards and I was so scared and so nervous and I didn't know anyone. And the community was so kind and welcoming to me when I just was starting out. And so it's never lost on me being acknowledged by the people that I've looked up to for so long and just being able to be part of this community. It's pretty amazing.
So you've probably met some really big country artists, probably some really famous people. Who's the most famous or who's the most who's the biggest country artist that you've ever been like most awestruck who you've met?
I opened for Doc Walker actually a year or two ago at a festival, and it was supposed to be an in-person festival, but it ended up being virtual because everything was shut down. And so it was me and my manager and the talent buyer and Doc Walker in this room playing a show. And I've always looked up to them and I knew how impressive they were, but it wasn't until they started playing Rocket Girl that my manager and I looked at each other and we're like, oh my, are we getting a private Doc Walker concert in person? Like, what is happening? Is this our lives? And they were so kind and just really genuine. So that was a pretty wild moment for sure.
No kidding. Those guys actually came out a couple of years ago to Cochrane to help us launch this radio station. So we know just as well as you do. Those guys are so nice and
so kind. Yeah.
Right? Not everything bad over the past 2 years, right? If everything was normal, you wouldn't have gotten a private performance.
That's true.
Right? A private Doc Walker concert. I could not complain about that by any means. So yeah, that was pretty wild.
Now you're in Calgary. Do you have any plans to come out to Cochrane this year? Maybe play a show or come visit us?
I would absolutely love that. As soon as you folks are doing in-person visits, I'm sure we'll get to hopefully see each other, not over a screen, which would be great. And hopefully play some shows out there, especially with the single releases coming up and the record. We'll definitely make a trip.
Well, our doors are open, so you're welcome to come here anytime.
Oh, yay! That's so sorry. I didn't mean to yell. I'm just so excited. to see friends.
No kidding. So have you spent the past 2 years songwriting? Like, do you already have all the material you need to make this new record?
Yeah, I did spend the last few years songwriting. And I think one of the silver linings that came out of the past few years is a lot of writers who previously wouldn't have done this are now open to Zoom writing. And so I was really fortunate, obviously, like to write with a lot of Alberta-based artists and songwriters, but also I ended up collaborating with a producer in the UK, which was pretty wild. I'm working with a couple. Yeah, it's really cool. And in EDM of all things. So we're working on some EDM country songs. I don't know what that's going to look like, but it's keep your ears peeled, I guess.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah. Well, I feel like country music, the baseline of what it is it's just really great storytelling. And it's a song that can stand with a voice and a guitar. And so the production around that sometimes can be modified, and you can do a country version or a pop version. And it's been really fun exploring some of those different sounds. And then I've been writing with a few people in Muscle Shoals, Alabama as well, which again has been really wild because I just wouldn't have been able to connect with those people unless Zoom was a thing.
Right. Yeah, there's some bonuses to technology, right? If you
definitely
could collaborate with any country artist and, sing a song, do a duet with someone, who would it be?
Casey Musgraves, hands down, 12 out of 10. Love her very much. Has been inspired by her songwriting and her music and her style for basically my whole career. She's one. And then if we're talking Canadians, Lindy Ortega is a big influence on me. Her 10 Star record was and still is one of my favorites. So those two are probably my favorite of the last little while. I would say like longevity. I always have new ones that I'm cycling through that I start to love, but those two have stood the test of time in my career for sure.
Now, if Cochrane wants to keep up with you, what's the best way to do that?
I am on all of the social media platforms. So I have a website, and then my name, Mariya Stokes, is my handle on all platforms. So if you want updates on shows, my website and Facebook and Instagram are really great. If you want to see all the weird stuff I've been doing in my house for the past 2 years, TikTok is a good space for that. Yeah, that's usually where I hang out.
When we say weird, how weird?
Oh my gosh. Well, when everything shut down, my roommate and I, who's been my best friend since I was 5 years old, we decided that we wanted to start live streaming because she worked in the service industry and so wasn't able to go to work. And I'm a musician, so I wasn't able to go to work. So we started a live stream specifically focused on kids. And I'm not a children's artist, but we were thinking about all the parents who were at home working, taking care of their kids, and just trying to balance life. And we were like, well, what if we just started a live stream on Fridays where we did 20 to 30 minutes and we dressed up in silly costumes and sang kids songs? And so we did that, and we would theme every week. So one week we dressed up as Disney princesses. She has so many costumes. Elena, my roommate, we don't live together anymore, but she's moved on with her life and we're still best friends. But she has this, unfortunately, we aren't live streaming anymore, but we did a Beauty and the Beast theme. We did like all of these different costumes just because it was fun and hopefully to bring a little bit of light. And there's some behind the scenes of those shows across my platforms if you dig deep enough. If you want to see me in a wolf costume or dressed up like one of the princesses from Frozen, there is content for that somewhere on the internet.
Oh, I love it.
Well, that's awesome, Mariya. Thank you again for hanging out with us.
Yeah, thanks for taking the time to chat with me today.